Hello, everybody, again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and not with me is Kage and Kameo just because they are just still doing the Thanksgiving break time, and we are getting ready for the Monday breakdown. Now, I know I wasn't here on Friday for the meltdown and the scareware, but I will just tell you that everybody calm down. Everything's going to be okay. The South African doctor and that discovered the disease as well as the other variant, as well as other scientists are saying this is very mild, and the media is gearing up for its fear propaganda. What you need to know is the benefit of this is that you will grab cheap. There's many stocks out there that fell that you can go and grab and cheap, and you want to watch this as people dump. As they dump, you won't be the chump, and you'll go out and go get the grab. So, being with it, we're going to talk a few stocks here before we dive into tomorrow. We'll dive into some of the top movers and things like that. But one of the interesting ones I wanted to cover here. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving or whatever you did. If you just celebrated and partied, whatever. If you didn't. Hopefully your holiday was a good holiday, and some people didn't have a holiday. Some people just had a good weekend, or whatever you had. I hope it was great. So going into one of the first interesting stocks we're going to talk about, because the news will tie into it, we're going to first go into the year to date of this company, and we're also going to go into the news that's popping of it, because it's very interesting. It's Enzo Linux Incorporated. The last tick was 0.1282. Well, going at the year to date on this stock, going into the beginning of the year, there was, let's just say, the hope of new things, the hope of bad tweets not happening and things like that, and all the hype and all the gripe and everything, and you had this buy point, you had this, everybody was all buying up right here, and then, well, we on this show we call it the Biden bounce. Everybody dumped off, and the hype was out of the stock, and then there was another pump. Looks like in May there was some new news and breakthroughs, and that with some of these, like this type of biopharmaceutical stock, you're going to see hype with these all the time, but you got to hype and ride the waves. Are we coming to see the next hype on this one? I don't know. We'll have to see. Some of the news, we'll go back to some stale news and some of the reasons why this is coming and going, and it could barely decide. Don't drink a fifth of Kool-Aid and don't drive. I think a famous rapper once said that, except he said it in different words. Going on to what would you say they do? They're a biotechnology company that engages in the development and commercialization of drugs for infectious disease treatments. The company of all human monoclonal antibodies target and neutralize human indeficiency virus, and they're employed to produce SARS-CoV-2 monoclonal antibodies for treating COVID-19. This is huge because there is news popping on this, and we're going to go into more of what they do there. They're also testing hepatitis A, B, C, and rheumatoid arthritis, and other ones. So if they don't hit their goals with the immuno deficiencies, what they're dealing with, you also have, they're working on certain types of cancers, rabies. They do several stuff. They also do things with tinnitus, huge problem with people's ears there, if you're not familiar with that, and influenza A and other things. So they're involved in several of the, they're basically branched out. So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket when you're investing. But the good thing about looking at this company is that you also get exposure to, let's just say, when panic happens and things like that. Most of your biopharmaceuticals are pretty safe and things. So we're going to go on to the website. And the website looks better than, let's just say, a chump change piece of junk. You know, some of these ones where you're worried if they're working out of mommy's basement or if they're out of an apartment where they list the address. And trust me, if you haven't seen a lot of this stuff, it happens, guys. I've seen it. So I've looked up the addresses, and it's nothing against trailer courts or anything, but if you're putting $1 million or $500,000 into a stock, and you got a company that's listed as a trailer park, and it's a vacant lot, you got a problem. So they have 40 years of development drug excellence, is how they say it. They're developing and providing antiviral peptides and monoclonal antibodies for treating debilitating infectious diseases. They have their welcome mat that's on the front. They've tested antiviral therapeutics. The company has worked with a patented anti-HIV therapeutics and proprietary methodology for producing human IgG1 monoclonal antibodies for treating diseases with non-passive immunotherapy. The company has clinically tested anti-HIV therapeutics. Generally, the company has created the proprietary cell line that produces fully human monoclonal antibodies that target and neutralize the HIV virus. Now, with this, guys, with them doing what they're doing, as they hit their stages, you're going to see gradual upticks. Now, is this one that possibly down the road, years and years and years, is it going to be one where you could swing? Yeah, it's a possibility, because they're going with these biopharmaceuticals, like I've told you in the past, they go through their news cycles where they peak and then they dump off, and then they peak and then they dump off. So you have several stocks like this, like as well as UGAS, DGAS, things like that, which I believe UGAS doesn't exist anymore. They split into something else, but I always talk about those ones because those are some of your swinger stocks there. Now, going into their, as far as their intellectual property, let's go take a look and see what we got here. Bear with me because I am flying solo on the show today. I don't have my partner in crime as he goes with, and we'll go into what the traders are saying and things like that. But they have certain patents covering the technology of peptide that has demonstrated clinical trials to provide anti-HIV 1 retroviral benefit vivo. U.S. patents 7,479,538 issued January 20th, 2009, entitled Irreversibly Inactivated Pepsinogen Fragment and Pharmaceutical Composition comprising of for the same detecting, prevention, and treating of HIV. Irreversibly inactive pepsinogen fragment pharmaceutical composition is compromising for the same as detecting and preventing and treatment of HIV. These patents are inactivated and identified and characterized as amino acid sequence. The peptide has demonstrated significant vitro binding affinity for HIV1, GP120, GP41 human CD4 cells. The peptide exhibits activity in the vivo, particular HIV1 activity, as far as expression, elaborate cytokines, which selectively promotes the cell-mediated immune response and subsequently stimulated cytotoxic lymphocytes. Okay, so going into that, because we're not here for biological class, things like that, the company news, because that's what you care about, because that's what's going to make you coin. But the other thing is, too, is when you're investing in these companies, guys, you also need to put into, take into the account that you're not only investing in the company, but you're investing in mankind. So that's something else you're putting your money to. So even if the stock tanks or their studies tanked and things like that, you still gave to the research. So that's something, I know some of you don't care about that, but you did help out with some of that. So one of the announcements in the news there is they announced the production sale of North America Enzo immune-attested modulator-based U.S. patent 8,309,072. This was on November 17th news. They announced they planned a production of sale in the U.S. and North America, a liquid nutritional supplement that is immune modulator that benefits the immune system for fortifying it against infections and supporting the body's antioxidant defense. With so many people running towards getting as far as trying to protect their body and everything from certain diseases and things like that, people are always looking for immune support, because if you don't have immune support, your body's just going to go to pot. So if you're not trying to help yourself, remember, don't keep your body's defense down. Try to gear up and get yourself into where you need to be able to fight these things, because it's going to be some rough years. So the active components in the supplement have been registered for the FDA in use of NDI Reg number 1083. The product will be produced and sold the company pursuant to its licensed U.S. patent, and we're not going to go over the patent number again. The 072, entitled Irreversibly Inactivated Pepsinogen Fragments for Modulating the Immune Function, covers the use of irreversibly inactivated pepsin fragments that have shown to test and perform immune modulating function. The primary IPF ingredient to complex platform that modulates the immune system may be used as a commitment therapy for a variety of diseases. So it's covering all of those diseases, and it's also the immune modulator is made of purified liposized pepsin containing polypeptide chain of 327 amino acid residues and one phosphoric acid residue. So you have all this, and it's shown on here, antiviral effects. So, and that's the biggest key there with some of these things going on with everything, with keeping your immune system healthy and everything. Not only antiviral vitamins, but you have people working on things like this because, like I said, bad immune system, no good. Good immune system, and I'm not saying to pump yourself full of stuff. All I'm saying is that if they can contribute anything to this, because you're just going to see the things constantly evolving all the time and things like that. So might as well gear up and trying to help mankind so we can move on and get on with our lives and things like that. We'll just put it that way. It looks like for over many years they've been involved in the invention and development of prior testing. They'll be able to bring it to North America content and meaningful achievement way where they're extremely proud. It looks like they said North America's dietary supplements market is large and it's valued at $50 billion in 2020, expected to grow 5.6% over the next 5 years. So with that, with them coming out with that, I would say this is one to put on your watch list. But don't take it for my word. Let's go check out Stockwits and see what the real traders are saying on this one. Okay, guys, going on to Stockwits, well, because that's where the real traders are at. One of the traders on here is saying, watch with the potential flu season and things coming back, that you're going to see a lot of plays with these stocks coming up. It's true. There was once upon a time, there was a company that I traded and shorted called Neurovax. Well, I'm one that's out on that. I told you I will take the L on the show. I take the L on the show as much as possible if I have to, but I don't take too many L's. But that was one of them. Don't short, and because you never know when you're going to get back in, unless you are quick on the gun to jump right in. Let's see. Twitter, the mutations and variant result in long-term infection unidentified individual with compromised immune system. The mutations completely out of the blue and observed before the other strange. So he's basically saying, going off of Twitter news of some of this, and all I'm going to say, guys, is calm down and wait to see what the experts are saying. But it is useful for this type of stock because it does have antiviral effects. Whether it's going to help out, well, we don't know. We just have to follow the news, and that's what most of these stocks are, is follow the news. But biopharmaceuticals, they're always fun to watch. Just because they ride the news waves, and some days you'll ride the news and other days you'll have their down, but these ones are as far as a lot of them are economic proof if you play your cards right. So what does this HIV have to do with the new variant anyway? Haven't they had anything for Delta and others and so forth? Well, I have no comment on that. I have some reasons, but I have no comment myself on that. Okay, guys, so with this, what my final take and everything of this from what the traders are saying and everything like that, any type of product like this one and similar, as long as it has antiviral properties, is going to be good no matter what it is. So what these guys are doing with it, I would say put it on your watch list, see where you want to find your entry point, and take a look at it. Do your research. It looks like a decent company and a decent stock to look at. Everybody seems to be excited about it. Okay, guys, so the next stock finally we have is an energy stock. Thank goodness, because I don't know if you've noticed this on the last one, but I don't like really talking about viruses and stuff like that because you never know when people are going to think you're promoting things. I don't like to get into the discussion of the whole virus deal and anything like that. You never know when they're going to pull the plug. So that's just my take on that. I have certain opinions, but I'm not going to share them on here for censorship reasons. So going on to the next stock there is OZSC. OZSC, last tick was 0.0514. Going on to the year-to-date history, well, it follows the same pattern as a lot of these do. As far as in March, you had your you had your uptick as far as the new excitement, and then you've had your blips, and then now it's coming back again. Going on to what would they do, Ozop Energy Solutions designs and develops and manufactures, distributes battery chargers, inverters, and power supplies. It provides products to defense, heavy industrial, aircraft ground support, maritime, and other sectors. The firm focuses on significant share of renewable energy and market provider for assets infrastructure needed to store. The company is located in Florida, New York. So they're out there in Florida, New York. Going with it, one of my first takes, what I'm looking on here is I see defense and with aircraft and maritime support. So if they're connected in any way with any type of government contracts or they land a government contract, you could see the scratch coming your way. So that's one thing to investigate when looking at this company. Going on to the website for what would you say you do here. We're going to go check out the website, see what it looks like. Then we're going to dive into some news. And then we're going to go into Stockwits. That's where the real opinions of the real traders have been out for a while there. So here's some news I found actually on the website. It looks like they submitted a post out there. They said that the infrastructure deal that was passed will benefit them and support their new renewable projects that will benefit their business plans and objectives. The bill is one of the most important environmental packages to come from the government and has been passed with an impressive number of votes from all parties. The bill includes the largest investment for clean energy transmission and the grid in American history, according to a statement from the White House. Sorry, didn't mean to mess that up. The legislation will upgrade the power infrastructure by building thousands of miles of new transmission lines to facilitate the expansion of renewables while lowering the cost. Q-Card has hailed it the once in a generation bill that will make historic significant strides to take on the climate crisis. Well, we'll see what happens there. See what China has to say about that. Going into Ozop Energy Solutions, they have developed a next-generation EV charging solution, they'll notably called the Neo Grid. The system is patent pending and will help solve the needs of off-grid charging with increased demand of EVs from across the nation. According to an article from Investor's Place, in 2040, it is expected that EVs will account for 57% of the new passenger vehicles sold globally. Well, maybe let's hope so. Additionally, Ozop has strategically aligned with the national EV charging manufacturer and AI-driven battery software developer and the leader of battery storage third-party funded solutions provided for a portfolio location in the U.S. It's bringing its green solutions to the military. Its wholly owned subsidy power conversion technologies is bringing 30 years of green engineering and design solutions supplying the inverters, converters, and power supplies and battery chargers and powers for submarine, military, and aircraft. If these guys get more funds, guys, you're not going to see a price like this anymore like you were before. So that's the other thing we want to take into key here, like I was saying. With the description of the company, that should be lights right there saying ding, 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 ding. So you might not like who's in charge or whatever's in charge, but you got to follow which way the wind blows sometimes as far as with some of these investments and where the dineros are flowing. So with this, when you're taking a look, find out if they're who they're getting if they're doing these or getting awarded some of these contracts and things like that. Now this just comes from the website and it is a plug. Let's go to the actual Alphabet news. And let's cut through the noise there and see if we can... Well, let's go to a little more noise and then we'll go to the signal because we're going to see what the real traders are saying. Okay, so here's one article that is some of the signal there, and this is definitely not noise. Okay, it says today this company has completed the modifications and commissioning of the 1 megawatt power supply that will be classified in a nuclear propulsion application for the U.S. Navy. Ozop investors have been watching the progress of the Pearl Harbor project, PCTI, over the past few months. They're proud to say that the mission complete PCTI test, I'm thinking computers, has finally, Pearl Harbor's modifications of the past couple weeks, the PCITI and Pearl Harbor team have been putting a power supply through its trials at the United States Naval Base. At the end of the period, they've received thumbs up from the Pearl Harbor team as the power supply completed testing requirements. As the testing is now done, they look forward for power supply to go into service for 2022. So as I'm sure we're going to see on some of the deals, like what Stockwits customers are saying, so this is one stock that you could say for yourself, pandemic, things like that. I mean, obviously, supply chain shortages, things like that, still, it's going to affect a little bit of this, but going forward, This would be one that's in one of the safer plays just because they have dealings with the military and things like that. So that's something that you're going to want to look at when you're investigating into this company, whether you want to buy or not, is that, you know, you do have some security there with some of the contracts and deals they have there. If you want to go read more about them, you can, and things like that. There's several articles about this, but that's one of the big dogs right there. And so they were pretty happy about that infrastructure bill because they were already working on that project already. So, and some of this to you guys is old news, but it is what it is. We're going to cover it for some people that don't know about it. So, moving on to Stockwitz, because that's where the real traders are hanging out. Okay, so some of the sentiment from the traders on this one, the real traders that are trading this, you're getting some bulls and bears as far as going at it with each other on this stock. The bulls are like, I don't like the financials on this as far as that, but with a lot of these companies that are new, they have really pissy financials. But you know, the bears that's the take from the bears. The bulls are like, dude, this is what to expect when you're a new company and things like that. So you're getting that infighting and things like that going between each other. Okay, so other takes from the real traders on Stockwitz. Some of them are basically saying there's a scare off, but don't be worried about variant scares, things like that. This will turn around on Monday, which I'm seeing it is, because again, you're going to go down the Greek letter alphabet and all these because we're constantly evolving here all the time, in a nutshell. But with this one, we'll have to see what it plays out. Some people are saying that with the infrastructure, once the money starts flowing, things will come in and maybe they'll get out of some of the debt they have and start producing. We'll have to see how it goes. So put it on your watch list. See where you want this one to take you. If you think it's going to take you far, or if you just want to pass and move on to the next, because that's what we're going to do. But there's a little bit of smoke there, and there's a little bit of fire. You just have to figure out which one to your desire. Okay, guys. Before we take off, I just wanted to cover more of the NSAV news. I know some people are laughing, saying that, oh, it's down to 3 cents, things like that. Well, yeah, a lot of things went down, jackwagon, so it is what it is with that. So one of our top followers that we follow all the time, because he's on the NSAV news all the time, just because he is like us, an ally of the company, and we want to spread the good word of something that's the company that we believe in. Douglas Moran writes, folks, don't expect anything until after Q2 or Q3. So guys, this isn't a get-rich-quick thing or anything like that. It's a stock market. You got to have patience. And so the next August, November, it's going to take some time. Good news doesn't magically make the stock increase in price. But if you decide to sell, this is coming from my take, just let me know, because I'll take your cheap shares. I'll keep on taking your cheap shares and buying them all day for me. The good news is don't expect to magically increase the price. Stocks only rise when people are willing to pay the asking price. That only happens when there's hype. We have very little at this point, and we would have more, but very few are sharing the news. We have increased awareness to the increased hype and volume. Our volume is down from 92% from the average 3 months. Volume was at 7.6 Friday. We need it to be at 200 million plus. Thousands of PRs are released every month, but only few people are liking and sharing them, which eventually that's the problem with some of this, is that some people think these are get-rich-quicks, and they are patients. That's why he has the picture of Yoda on there. Thank you, Douglas. Douglas also put out there that the LXFI LFT token started at 0.5 on Bitmart. We talked about Bitmart last time. They're part of the team there. And NSAV had, with Real Ties, had NSAV Tech shareholders sales start December, has on here December 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Sign up CYC. The next will host NSBC Roadshow and AMA coming soon. #crypto. So make sure you share that news and you're out on that. The first roadshow for NSBC will be next Tuesday, November 30th, 11 a.m. And for the NSAV and Tech shareholders. So you have that. And he also posted 12 hours ago that the NSAV plastics token started at 0.024, hit a high of 0.2986, an increase of 1,244% in 3 weeks. NSAV Lux token started at 5, hit a high of 31, increase of 620%. More NSAV owns stakes in both. NSAV tokens start 12.6 at 10 cents. So there you have it. You can go look at the Bitmart. And if you haven't joined the NSAV group, go and join that. But things are looking good for that one. So if you are thinking about some type of I've been telling people about this company. I keep on spreading the word. Don't be left out in the cold. Don't be like me, like before when I bought Neurovax, and look where it's at now. Joke's on me. So, and the joke's from everybody else, because they are flowing and they're doing backflips in their pool with the dinero. So I'm out on this one. I'll be back with the crew. Don't make it a dog show. Hopefully you're recovered and ready for a show tomorrow, because we are going to kick some ass. Good night now.